So now that you're retiring, what are you going to do?
I'm free full-time to work on what God wants me to do. I feel led to go back to college. I'm looking for Hickerson Hall.
We normally only have students under the age of 20 in the dorms.
I heard there's a senior citizen staying in my dorm.
That's Ty Bounds. He's not even close to being that old.
Why are you going to college? I mean, shouldn't you be hanging around the Senior Citizen Center playing bingo and bridge and drinking and shirt?
Well, the fool has said in his heart that there is no God.
Are you calling me a fool, Mr. Bounds?
Seems to me you just called me one a second ago.
So, are you this much trouble in all your classes?
I'm an equal opportunity troublemaker, but, you know, most classes don't teach something as debatable as evolution.
Welcome to They Called Us a Movie, testing the strength of friendships one terrible movie at a time. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and other podcast services by searching They Called Us a Movie, and find us on Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram at TicTamPod. That's TCTAM Pod. Welcome back to They Called Us a Movie. This is Anthony Delvecchio. With me as always is Dan Aquino and Mark Mayo. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, friends. Hello, everyone. I know we've had our disagreements over the different errors of our life that we're in between us, but I think we can all agree on one thing. The worst time to get sick is when you take a week off from work, as I am currently sick right now.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Clearly the worst.
We, in my house, we traded illnesses back and forth throughout the 2 weeks we were off for Christmas break.
Oh, wow.
This year. My son had it like the weekend before the last week of work, before we went on break, and that carried over. And I think my wife got it, and I got to like the week between Christmas and New Year's without getting sick, and then I eventually did get sick.
You held
and
out.
then it like went back around. Like by the time I was done getting sick, my son got something else, or it like regrouped or something like that. But he was like, all of a sudden he starts sniffling again. I was like, are you kidding? Like, we're never like, it really felt like we weren't going, there wasn't going to be a healthy household until the spring. But luckily it was like, it only lasts like another week or a week and a half or something like that after that.
I'm going to blame all the children at Tom's daughter's birthday party because I woke up Sunday with a scratchy throat.
Sure, but you know what? You're running yourself ragged with no free time.
Had no free time. So,
you got to take care of yourself at some point, Mark.
Got to listen to my Apple Health when it tells me it's time to wind down for bed and go to bed, Mark.
Yeah.
You can't keep watching all the American Gladiators all night.
It's burning the candle on both ends, man.
And then when I run out of American Gladiators, Supermarket Sweep is on.
Yeah.
Right? There's only so much time in the day,
Yeah, I know, guys.
See, you got to start working from home like one day a week, so you can just put on the TV while you're working, and you get all that work, all that American Gladiators out of your system for the week. It's like, okay, I had my fill. I watched 8 straight hours. I don't know if it's 8 hours worth of American Gladiators to actually watch, but
yeah, I'm literally doing probably the worst thing you can do while having a cold with this is I'm like saying, no, it is not stopping from doing the things I had planned. So I still went up to drove 2 hours to see my niece play softball, 2 hours back.
So you're just spreading the germs around.
Just spreading the germs around all of Pennsylvania. I'm going to State College on Friday. I'm going to spread it there too.
Mark's patient zero.
Yeah. Man, remember when you were supposed to log when you had COVID of where you went?
Oh yeah,
the COVID map.
Wait,
Mark's
Mark,
would just be like how the U.S. electoral map is all red. That's what Mark's path is going to be.
It'd be just red from the center of Pennsylvania to the center of New Jersey.
Yeah,
I would love to see that, like an interactive map where like it starts in Philadelphia, and then you see this like red line slowly making its way across the state.
Yeah, and like there's touch point, there's like milestone points. Like you click on it and it says Mark was here at this point,
right
at this Wawa.
Yeah,
got a hoagie, touched the screen, just got his hands all over the screen.
Yeah, he's at this Wawa in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, half of Alvernia is sick.
Screen 2 at that Wawa is just contaminated.
Oh yeah, they have to like quarantine just that one screen.
Yeah.
Please use other screens, people.
There's like security camera footage of him ordering.
Sneezing on it.
Just wiping his nose with his sleeve.
I feel that footage could either be in a very dramatic disaster movie or a comedy disaster movie. I feel like you could use footage of me sneezing onto a Wawa ordering thing in either type of disaster movie.
It sounds like Soderbergh's Contagion.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, Mark, good work on that, I guess.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, hopefully in your path of destruction, there's a 65-year-old grandpa that has really racist views.
Well, I'm going to State College on Friday, so there might be a chance.
Yeah.
Make sure to visit the dorm rooms. You might find one there somehow.
All right. Well, this week we watched a movie, and this movie, because it is the end of the month, was our movie of the month, and that means it was voted on by our Patreons. What's Patreon, you ask? Well, if you go to patreon.com/ticktampod, and for just $1 you subscribe, you become a Patreon subscriber. And what does that mean? You get access to exclusive episodes. We got one in the can we're about to release soon for the month of March, and it also gives you access to our Discord where the poll takes place. Every month we put up a monthly poll to decide what movie we're going to watch. We pit 3 movies together. Each of us picks one, and the winner gets watched. And that's what happened this week, and that's why we watched this week's movie. Once again, that's patreon.com/ticktampod, and for just $1, you go on and you get all that kind of good stuff. Discord, it's fun. It's places where we're talking about movies, we're talking about questions of the week we dropping music that we're listening to, and all that fun stuff. So check that out. All right, this week, like I said, movie of the month. And as we are approaching Easter, we still have a week before that happens. We're going to putting another episode in before Easter Sunday, but we figured it was a good time to have a religious episode. Specifically, we scoured our good friend Tubi for its best of the worst in terms of religious movies. We pitted my film, which was The Broken Church, against Mark's film, which was the Rapture type movie, The Remaining. But those fell short in the voting to Dan's pick. So Dan, why don't you introduce which movie we watched this week?
So the movie that we watched, won the poll, was the 2014 movie Gramps Goes to College. And that title immediately stuck out to me when I went to Tubi and I went to religion. I saw this popped up a few rows down, and I looked at this man, this old man, his smug face, and I said, this guy is going to be, like, this movie is going to be super preachy. I know it for a fact, and I was not wrong. I knew this guy wasn't going to provide anything of substance. He was just going to lecture, like, hey, put down that biology textbook and pick up the good book. Like, yep, that's exactly what we got. So, the 2014 movie, Gramps Goes to College, directed by Chip Rossetti, writing, producing, and starring one Donald James Parker. I was very happy with this movie, but not because I enjoyed it, but because it was a other end of the spectrum of a movie we recently watched, Baby Cat, where and I would highly recommend going to watch that movie because that's a lot of fun, where that director had a clear vision, and this director and this writer also had a very clear vision, but of two different subjects, where Baby Cat was about people just having fun. It was, like, you could tell the people making that movie were having a good time making it. This movie was about propaganda and getting that message to as many kids as possible. So completely different ends of the spectrum. And I had a feeling that's where this guy was going to go. It was going to be pure religious propaganda. And Donald James Parker did not disappoint.
Yes. I will say the Patreons were correct in selecting this one. But The Gramps Goes to College from 2014 is directed by Chip Rossetti. Stars Donald James Parker, Kira O'Brien, Rusty Martin, Courtney Lee Smith, Timothy Paul Taylor, Carol Anderson. IMDb score of 1.5, Rotten Tomato score 14% audience only. Plot. Somebody's racist grandpa does his best Neil Breen impression by creating a movie in which he's the smartest, funniest, most athletic person in the room. Old man Ty Bounds decides that he is going to spend his retirement in a southern university, wasting the time of everyone as he expertly contradicts his biology professor on the idea of evolution. Mark, where are you coming from with Gramps Goes to College?
So I am of two minds with this. Mostly for most of the movie, and it may be for the aforementioned sickness. I was angry about most of what was going on and being preached to. That's maybe just a personal thing. I hate that. So I was annoyed for the most part through this movie. But then I kept thinking it'll probably make a fantastic podcast. Because talking to the two of you through it, we should come to a good point in it. So obviously I've never seen this movie, but a lot of his talking points I've heard a billion times through, and we probably all have. So it was a lot of eye rolling and stuff to me. I will say this, my favorite like fun things to talk about and joke about were a lot of the scenes without the main character or the titular Gramps. I think a lot of their reaction between the college students was a lot more goofier and out there. I really think it comes down to my personal inclination of not hating to be preached to. That might have turned me off to him. But I think my favorite part of this movie is the fact that the dorm was in a hotel. That was obviously a hotel.
Yeah. I couldn't decide. It was like, is this a hotel or like an assisted living area? But I'm fairly sure it's a hotel, right?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure it's a hotel. And the rooms, it could be an assisted living thing too. The rooms were definitely set up like either that or a hotel room, not like a dorm room at all. And I think my other favorite thing was them completely misunderstanding what a college campus is like, in terms of the sense that all the posters on the wall were just all anti-Christian, like everywhere.
I noticed that. There are a lot of science-based stuff. Like only science can unlock the mysteries of the universe.
And we went to, as they would call it, a secular school. At least me and Aunt. I don't know. It's centenary religious.
Yeah, I think it's like Protestant.
Yeah,
where I went to college.
Yeah, so the public college that we went to, I don't remember any of this stuff being advertised around at all. I don't think people gave a shit for the most part. Could have been a different generation too, who knows. But none of the things that happen in that school, and we went to a pretty big public university, nothing that happens in this movie came remotely close to happening. And I took science classes, and at no point did they mention God or, disparage faith or, any of the very blatant things they did in this movie. This felt like I want to say this whole movie just felt like the Gramps, his like wet dream of going back to college, like that he gets to, bring God back to the schools and the kids. And, everything goes perfectly right. And that everybody's evil but him. And it was just there was just so much, like the teaching. The classroom was obviously just a ballroom inside said nursing / hotel, because they had those giant screens that you would have in a ballroom up there and the dais too. And just every interaction, like there was no nuance. For as much as they claimed in this movie that everything was so far anti-Christian, God and everything in this movie was the opposite in terms of anti-secular and anti, things that don't mention God and all that. Like he tries to say there's a middle ground, but there's never a middle ground in here. And I think that's part of it that infuriated me. And on a fun note, I'll end my part on a fun note. I absolutely loved the t-shirts in the intramural games. They made me laugh. I think it's Sons of the King or something is
Yeah.
his team. And then the other one is just the Demons.
Demon 69.
Well, my favorite one was the guy that he plays in chess, says the Demon 66.
Right.
I guess he thought it'd be too on the nose to give him 666. And then like the other fun thing that you find out through this whole contest and all that is that everybody in this school thinks he's a hero. And the greatest thing, like they were all these silent majority people that they loved to claim, those people. That were just waiting for somebody to stand up to the evil biology teacher. And now everybody's backing him because somebody had the guts to stand up. And like I said, this was just a person that had no experience in current college. And just everything was based on what he probably heard on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Okay, as for me, yeah, this one, I hated this movie so much, but at the same time, I didn't hate watching it. Like, obviously, this guy's MO is grotesque and just, I mean, in the first 3 minutes of the film, he just immediately exposition spreads. I'm going back to college so I could take down these liberal teachers indoctrinating our children. So you know where you're going with this, but it's so fucking stupid. I love it.
Yeah.
Put my notes here. I love how he says he's never been to the South, because that is a Southern accent if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, I clocked that immediately. As soon as he said, yeah, I've always liked to go to the South. Like, come on, dude. It's like maybe... he's from Tennessee, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
South Dakota, we find out at the end.
Oh, but this actor is 100% from like 10 minutes away from where they filmed.
Yeah.
If it's a nursing home, it's his nursing home.
Yes.
Yeah. And I hate how he introduces himself. We talk about it off podcast, but he says, "Tie bounds at your service," like 6 times. Just like, fuck you, dude. Just fuck you.
Would you say that he is a self-righteous prick?
Yes.
Right.
100%. This is a hero. This is a hero fantasy, like I said, like Neil Breen does, and Tommy Wiseau, and all these guys that have these midlife crisis movies that they do. They're independently wealthy and they decide that I'm going to make a movie where I'm the star of it. This is the Christian version of this. He's the smartest person in the room. He has every argument that a college professor just couldn't possibly outsmart, right? She doesn't have an answer for how smart he is about this topic. And he's great at intramural sports. I don't know what sports those are, but we're just going to start a team of intramurals. And he's good enough at that he outsmarts everybody running a 4-mile race, right? Because everybody's just going too fast. So he just outwits them. He wins in chess. He wins in basketball because they're playing horse, maybe? That's the intramural sport for basketball? Because he can't. I don't know. He will not hold up running up and down the court, I suppose. Yeah, so it's just horse.
My favorite part about the basketball is that the guy he's playing actually looks like he could shoot a basketball, while Gramps probably has barely shot one in it.
Yeah. Well, you never once see him make a bucket.
No. Right. No, it's that cut thing they do.
Yeah, it just he puts the ball up and then cut to the ball going in. There's no shot from behind of him shooting the ball, right? It's just right up, focus on him, cut to the close up of the basket.
Even better, we see absolutely nothing of a 4-round tennis tournament.
That's right.
We don't see a single serve. No. We see the ace that ends the final game, the championship, the game set match. The ace just blowing by our villain. I forget his name.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Brace, I think his name is something. Yeah,
my favorite part is that they would show the score and then cut to the woman that was saved. We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
God.
Her commenting about the score.
Yeah, she just has to drop exposition as if to make sure people understand the stakes.
and then it cuts back to the score. Then it cuts back to her.
Yeah. It's like, oh, way to go, Brad. You won that game. Now it's next for the next next game.
Well, I'll do you one better. At one point, we don't even see him making chess moves in his chess match. It's a static shot of the two players, and the board is out of shot. And you just see them making hand movements, like, "Oh, I got you this time." Oh, well, maybe not. Oh, I got you this time.
Yeah.
Do they know what moves they're making?
Dan, bring up the screenshot you sent us.
Oh, so there's a shot I sent because it annoyed me greatly. There's a shot of him playing chess against one of the demons, I think.
Yeah.
And he says he's got him in checkmate, and it's the queen up against the king. Well, the king could just take the queen. That's not checkmate.
Sure.
I'll
take your word for us. I don't know a damn thing about chess.
Yeah. Also, the queen is also within striking distance of the other queen, so he could have just moved the queen to take the queen, or the king to take the queen.
Yeah, my favorite part of that whole match. This is the second game. This is the one where he has the conversation, convinces the other kid about his side of science, and while he's doing that, he wins the chess match because the kid's like, "I got you. Why don't you resign?" He's like, "I never give up."
Right.
Because
that's how chess works.
Yeah. And the kid was like, "Okay, check." And you see him move the king a little. He's like, "Check."
Right. Like, no, I got you. This is the end. I want to rewind a bit because we kind of jumped forward, but the whole premise of this is this is a tired conservative argument that colleges are strictly strictly telling kids what to think and not how to. The problem becomes apparent when Donald James Parker, Ty, immediately contradicts himself by telling kids what to think about religion. So he gets into these arguments with students, the biology professor. He never brings up facts when confronted with facts, right? So the biology teacher is telling him, "Oh, in terms of natural selection, the environment will kind of necessitate which organisms live," and he'll just kind of say, "Well, how does that look? I'm telling you how it looks. I'm telling you there's scientific empirical evidence of this," and he just says, "Well, how could that be?" So he's not giving any thoughtful responses in certain areas. And then he's going to the kids and telling them, "Well, how do you think the brain works?" And 18-year-old kids probably don't understand how the brain works. So he tells them, "Well, how could it possibly have originated from a single cell organism?" Again, not providing any empirical evidence on his argument.
His whole argument with the teacher is basically taking the argument that atheists say to people that believe in God is basically like show me your evidence, like all that.
Right.
Like, show me what God looks like. So he's basically flipping that and going, show me what natural selection looks like. Can you give me its statistics or whatever?
Yeah.
Like,
what does it look like? Is there a weight or whatever to it?
Yeah. Thing. That's basically what he's doing with that, which makes no sense.
It's a bad faith argument. Yeah.
It's a bad faith argument. That's what I was looking for.
Natural selection is a concept. It's not a thing you can touch. And a person that can think for themselves knows the difference.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like math. It's like math. How do you know 2 + 2 equals 4? Because you can't touch it. What the fuck are you talking about?
That argument when they're at dinner, perfect to bring this up. When he says, "What if we got together and just decided the number 4 doesn't exist?"
Yes.
And what would kids answer when you say 2 + 2?
Yeah, it's a straw. It's a bad faith argument. It's a straw man argument as well. It makes me laugh because it's the same tired arguments over and over again. Where I am refusing to believe your scientific data, and I can't back it up except for how Anthony said prior to the podcast. Trust me, bro. You had to be there, kind of thing. People have seen Jesus. Okay, have they?
Yeah, it's a lot of his arguments, which probably sound great to him, obviously, or you want to put them in the movie.
Of course, yeah.
Don't work because the book thing. He does a whole thing about textbook. Like, anybody can put anything in a textbook, I was like, well, yeah, anybody could have put anything in the Bible too. Like,
Exactly.
you know, like,
Yeah.
were you actually there when the events in the Bible happened?
Right.
You know, like that argument. While I could have a deep discussion with someone, you know, about, you know, maybe things in the Bible are true or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But don't tell me that you don't believe the textbook because anybody could write anything in there, and then tell me I have to believe 100% what's in the Bible.
Right.
Because
Something
you
that
could
was
make the same
written
argument.
2,000 plus years ago.
Right. The book is the one thing you have when you are on the side of God being real. Don't start calling into question books.
Yeah. Like we can have a discussion as long as you don't start doing dumb. I think that's why I got angry at parts of this movie. Like, don't start doing dumb shit like that.
Well,
in your argument.
His entire argument falls apart because of I could pinpoint one argument he makes that proves he's full of shit. When he's arguing with one of the chess players about fluoride in the drinking.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He's saying, "Oh, you know, it's dangerous. There's all of these ailments that are happening, and no one could explain it." Right? If you look at this guy's teeth, they are jacked the fuck up. they are brown and disgusting. So right there,
Well,
your argument falls apart, my dude.
That's a good argument to bring up. I could be with him, not agree with him, but I could stay with his argument about, you know, maybe cancer rates rose since they introduced fluoride in the water, you know, and stuff like that. Okay, maybe we could have a discussion on that. But the minute he loses me is when he turns conspiracy theorist and says that, oh, you know, who controls all the fluoride now? China controls it. And I'm like, you're losing. Like, we can have a discussion. Like, is there studies that say could there be a connection? You know, like, we can have a discussion about, you know, from the time they introduced fluoride in the water to, you know, cancer rates. Okay, do a study? No correlation? Then fine, we're good. But at least that's a discussion. And his whole thing about self-determination and all that with I don't get to choose if I have fluoride in my water. Like, because the guy brings up toothpaste, you know, he's like, well, at least with that, I can choose to use that fluoride if I want. Like, okay, there's a discussion there. But all of his things fall apart because he instantly is the end it, or his little button or the thing he thinks turns the knife in is completely wrong and completely useless. And I think that was what was infuriating me the most.
Yeah, and it goes back to what Anthony said, because Anthony, you mentioned he's the Neil Breen of religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's written a bunch of movies, a bunch of books where he paints himself as the hero, right? Neil Breen is always the smartest in the room. Everyone looks up to him. Yeah. I would argue that this guy doesn't have a tenth of the imagination or charisma of a Neil Breen, though.
No, true. I mean, I think Neil Breen is not a competent director, but he swings for the fences. You know, a lot of his movies are very abstract and weird. And this is really just a propaganda machine delivery system. And we are not the audience for this film. This is porn for people that just want to watch liberals get schooled, you know.
Yeah. And there's probably not a single liberal person in this movie.
Sure.
Yeah. Right. These are all right-wing conservative Christian people in this movie, I'd imagine. He would probably not hire any liberal or liberal-minded person to be in his movies, right? And and I think the most egregious part is just immediately painting the biology teacher as essentially the villain of this movie, right? He gets into a conflict with her immediately where, Mark, you brought this up. She essentially derides anyone who believes in God, which, again, we've all been to college. The three of us have been to college. I have taken biology courses. Not a single thing is brought up about God. It's not, that is not the point of the class, ever. And this is where the propaganda comes in, because he's trying to tell you this happens across every campus in the country, right? Yeah. Every biology teacher, all they focus on is Darwinism, and they shut down creationism, and if you believe in it, they automatically fail you. None of that is true. They will fail you if you don't follow the assignment, or if you don't provide sources. And we've seen this happen recently, 8 months ago, right? The woman from the one college who got her professor fired for not following the curriculum. So that what I'm saying is Donald James Parker would 100% be that guy if he wrote a thesis like, oh, Jesus, 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 God, God, God. Like, that's not what this course is about, my dude. You didn't do any of the legwork here. I'm failing you.
And,
oh, wait, I'm going to get you fired now.
And multiple things about him going after science teachers and things like that are wrong. First off, he'll say your thing where we went to science classes and he never brought up God. He was like, that's the problem. They should be talking about God in those classes.
Interesting. Okay. So he's flipping it.
Yeah, like, no, God should be mentioned alongside. Like, that's what the creationist thing is.
Sure.
They don't want to replace evolution. They want people to be taught creationism alongside evolution.
Okay.
Because they're one and the same, or they're equal, or whatever. That would be his argument. But the other thing is that essentially there are people that I believe are scientists that are like his whole point of, by the way, him trying to get a master's in science when he never says if he even got a bachelor's in it to begin with.
Well, no, he's Mensa qualified.
Oh, he's Mensa qualified.
He specifically tells the biology teacher that he is Mensa qualified, but he doesn't.
But he doesn't believe in that or whatever he says.
Yeah, he doesn't put stock into it, whatever that means.
Yeah. And there are scientists. I don't know how they marry the two, but there is known instance of scientists who also believe in creationism. Like they're not like walled out of the profession because they believe in that. They just, I guess, if they're chemists, they don't. Their beliefs of what goes on in biology doesn't really matter, maybe, and they can be creationists. But his whole thing was that when he talks to that one counselor, which, by the way, that might have been the most realistic depiction of something in college, as a guidance counselor that could give two shits about what you're asking them.
Right.
That's a personal thing for me. Anyway, they wouldn't just, like, I feel that a lot of higher education would be like, okay, let's see if you can do this. Like, let's see if you can use your science, like, and make your points or whatever.
Right.
You might not get the degree, but they're not going to do what he did and go, oh, no, there's no way just because of that, just because of God. You can't. You mentioned God, so no, you can't be a master's science degree.
Right.
And the one other point, because we can transition into some of the funnier things, not funnier things, but more so what happens with the kids. I think we should transition to that. But I love the fact that not once in my life, maybe we went to the right schools that didn't do this. I have never once made fun of somebody for reading their Bible at all.
I have all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't make fun of them, but I don't associate with them. I would steer clear of someone who.
No, what I mean is like
would use that for every.
The way Brad brings it up is as though he was just going to be followed around and mocked the entire time he was in college.
Brad is the roommate.
The roommate. Yeah.
Which, can we talk about that real quick? we skip this whole thing. Ty's a 65-year-old man.
Yep.
Rooming with an 18-year-old kid.
Yep.
Now, while not illegal, insanely creepy.
Yeah.
It's inappropriate at very least. Like,
yes.
I like how he acts like what he's doing is completely normal, and like everyone he meets and comes in contact with is like, of course, like, what do you mean you don't understand what's going on? What do you mean you don't understand I'm a student staying at this dorm? Yeah. And like the dorm mother was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, even in his own movie that he wrote for himself, like, she's perfectly fine with it once she understands what the situation is, but he comes at it so combative. Like, oh, what? A sexagenarian can't check into his college?
And that was obviously making a sex.
Yeah.
That
was a backdoor sex.
Yeah.
My point, finishing what I was going to say, with the Bible thing, was the way Brad introduces it. It sounds like he would have people following him around, like cartoonish bullies from movies, just kind of going, is that the Bible? Are you reading the Bible? Is that Jesus?
But I am a cartoonish bully.
I'm glad
that's all I meant. Like, sure, we might.
Your words, Aunt.
Mark, you're perfectly fine with what you said. Me and Dan are just assholes.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen,
that's just the difference.
I'm going to tell you, like, this is a personal anecdote. I have good reason to treat the people like assholes too, because I went to Sunday school and these kids were nightmare fuel. They were the worst bullies I've ever come across. So now I'm turning the tables on them the only way that I know I can on a podcast. That's the best way
That's
I know how to
right.
do it.
That's right.
Okay.
Dan's
At
got
least
the
we
microphone
understand.
now.
But I was more coming at it from the way Brad thinks college is going to be for him.
No, nobody gives a shit. That's the thing about college. That's the one thing you realize, like the biggest difference between college and high school. Nobody gives a fuck about you.
No, people are there to do their own thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna have fun. Yeah, it's very much a time to reinvent yourself in college.
Yeah.
And having a 65-year-old man living with you, scolding you for going out and drinking is a problem. It's a huge problem.
100%. Because Brad's not even drunk.
No, I think he had like a couple drinks.
He was out late, but he's like they're not like doing like an over exaggerated slurring of his words or stumbling everywhere. He just kind of came in a little bit loud, like late. And for a 65-year-old man, he might be coming in at like 9:45. And that's considered late.
That's late. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing I was thinking of, and I was telling Jen, it was me laughs. Like, can you imagine you're an 18-year-old kid rooming with a 65-year-old man? He probably has to get up multiple times a night to go to the bathroom. Right? Like he is probably more annoying than the 18-year-old kid is.
Yeah. I like how he just instantly went into I'm dressing like college now.
Oh,
like
sure.
T-shirts. Like you're a 65-year-old man. I'm sure you you have like some slacks and like a button-down shirt.
And every one of his shirts has
exclusively T-shirts with Jesus graphic tees on. Yeah.
Yep. It's all the fish on the back where Jesus lives.
Yeah. It's if this was made today, one of his shirts would be freedom, right? We know that.
Yep.
Correct.
Oh yeah. One of the notes I have is I need to know where Donald James Parker was on January 6th.
100%. We know where he was.
Yeah. If he wasn't there, he 1,000% was getting people there somehow.
Yeah. If he wasn't there, it's because he was too much of a fucking coward.
Yeah, sending others to fight in his stead.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we haven't even talked about. I was baffled when they brought a girl back to life, and there was still 30 minutes left in the movie.
Yeah.
That's like end of second act. It's like this is everything after that is epilogue.
My favorite part about the scene is not one person that pronounced her dead is a doctor.
Thank you, Mark. I had that written down. It was like the biology professor witnesses this girl, quote unquote, die, and by that, it's just some drunk kid runs up and says she doesn't have a pulse, she's dead.
Yeah.
They couldn't even fit a line of dialogue saying like he's like pre-med or something,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm pre-med. I'm taking her vitals and doing some CPR or whatever. Oh, she's dead. She took 20 shots in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, and
then she not only does she get revived, she has no hangover.
Yep. And she shoots up like the Undertaker.
Yeah. And it's the perfect encapsulation of the term, what is it? Correlation is not causation or whatever that is.
Yeah. Causation is not correlated.
Yeah. What, the praying over her is not the reason she wakes up.
Right.
Because everyone misdiagnosed her being dead.
Dead.
Right.
Yeah.
She was just severely drunk.
Because it was Everclear.
190 proof.
Yeah.
Do they make it that high?
Yeah. That Everclear is, yeah, personal experience. But
there's a lot of personal experiences for Mark this episode.
I think Ant might have been there when some of that personal experience occurred.
Was that a Wilmington, North Carolina?
Yes, it was.
And then you fell ass backwards into a hamper?
Laundry basket. Yes, I did. That was Everclear.
Again, this podcast is slowly just becoming stories about Mark.
Mark lore. Mark has so much lore.
We're chipping away at the Mark lore, and I'm here for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
The other, I just want to get it because we haven't even focused on the kids, which I think was the more ridiculous, fun stuff. Because
in terms of what exactly? Because I would disagree with you, but I'm curious.
No. Meaning, well, maybe I'm using the wrong word for fun, but just the whole storyline of that, how I guess evil in their sense, the one girl that comes back from the dead is before she comes back from the dead.
Oh yeah, he hates her. He hates her.
Yeah, like she's
This movie hates that girl until she's reformed.
she is
What-
the
what
worst
was her
person
name?
to her mother.
Stephanie, I think.
Stephanie.
Stephanie
Yeah.
Carter. Yes.
Yeah, she's the worst person to her mother. She's, all but eliminated God from her life. And she's just having sex with everyone.
She's a harlot.
And-
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a harlot. But Ty can see that, or was it Michaela, the goody two-shoe girl that's sort of her. Michaela says, I can see that she once believed in him, and she just turned away from him.
Oh no, that was Ty.
That was
Ty
Ty.
has a sixth sense, I think,
Yeah.
of people's relationship with God.
Yeah.
Um,
And yeah, that whole thing where the dumbass argument with the mother where she keeps screaming about wanting a car and the mother goes, well, you crashed it driving drunk. You should have thought about that.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the mother's completely right
Yeah.
in everything she says for the most part.
Yeah.
Um,
I was so turned off, talk about Michaela. I was so turned off by his relationship with her, Michaela. Like when he calls her to her dad, oh, she looks like a little sweetie.
Oh, yes.
Like, ooh,
Oh,
my
and
skin crawled.
yeah.
there's a scene where she confronts him about trying to set her up with Brad. And he's
Yeah.
like, yeah, what's wrong with playing matchmaker? You're 65.
Yeah.
That's what's wrong with it. If a fellow 18-year-old wants to play matchmaker, that's okay.
Yeah, the most that a 65-year-old should be playing matchmaker is like if your grandparent or something talks to you, meaning Brad, and goes, oh, she seems like a nice girl, right? Like sort of,
Right.
that
should be the
because you're
extent
single.
of it.
Yeah. They should never talk to the other party.
Right.
in this
He
situation.
should be pumping Brad up,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like, hey, that Michaela, she seems like a nice girl. She's got a good head on her shoulders. Not you two should get together.
Yeah.
And
And, then Brad
you know-
will be like, oh, I don't know. She doesn't want a guy like me. She's too
Right.
pretty. It's like, you got a lot going for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, you're a handsome guy.
Yeah.
You play tennis. You read
I
the
think-
Bible.
Yeah.
No,
It
it
should be lucky to have you.
right. Right. It should be more harmless than straight up interfering
Yeah.
with two kids. Like it's so he's not helping the allegations of right-wing conservatives being PDF files.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We can
as
say pedophiles
close
on this
as
podcast.
you can say
Oh, okay.
pedophiles. What are you?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if it. Well, that's more YouTube, I think, right? That gets flagged. But yeah, like, you're meddling in the affairs of kids, dude. That's what you guys are strictly known for now, and it's
Yeah. And
you're not helping.
The funny part is, as close to this movie having a good character, Brad is as close as it gets. Because he has a little preachiness in him, but not as much as Ty. And I feel like he's just trying to have the college experience.
Yes,
while also still worshiping the Lord.
I agree. I think
and-
he is a very down to earth character.
Yeah, and he looks for the best in Stephanie. And he seems concerned about her, but doesn't try to like change her.
Mhm.
And the only time that Ty or anybody else feels that she's okay for him is when she dies and comes back and is all of a sudden, a soldier for the Lord again.
Yeah.
Right.
Born
Um,
again.
born
in the
again.
most literal sense. That would be a more interesting movie. Like, take out the 65-year-old man preaching bullshit at the biology teacher, wasting everybody's time and tuition money. But a story about a faith first person that is trying to go through the college the way college is supposed to be, but also being true to his faith. That's a perfectly fine movie.
Yeah.
But
And
no,
that's what
we've
most
got
of this movie is without Ty.
sure. Yeah. There's a more interesting movie happening right next to the movie that we're watching.
Well, essentially, to answer your question there, Ander, to give you what I think is the reason this movie was made, this is a backdoor cult movie
Mhm.
because at the end, I essentially become like a youth pastor, and we
Yeah.
see him walk down a hall to cheering and adoring fans. Like, Oh, he's starting a cult, essentially. He's brainwashing these kids.
My favorite part is before that scene. They had a scene where they obviously could not get Brad's actor back for the for the shot. Why isn't Brad here? Oh, he couldn't let you see him cry.
I didn't think about that possibility, but yeah, that's a good point.
He was on to his next embarrassing Christian movie.
They only had him for a certain amount of days.
Right. Yeah. Again, this movie is pure propaganda. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
It's pure propaganda. It's Ty Donald J. Trump Jr. It's him just saying quotes from the Bible when confronted with scientific evidence. Well, Leo Tolstoy said, or David 5:15 said, like that means nothing. Your Bible passages mean absolutely nothing here.
I have never heard some of those quotes before, but I would tend to believe, unless someone can prove me wrong, that the quotes from C.S. Lewis, and I think even quotes Darwin at one point, and Tolsky, and all those other religious people that he quotes, that those quotes are all taken out of context.
Of course. Probably. Yeah.
You know, I'm pretty, unless somebody can prove to me they are not. I completely believe.
Again, he says that the devil worked through Darwin.
Yeah.
So it's not that Darwin wrote his book on evolution. It was the devil was essentially working the pen and through Darwin. What is that? That you can't prove any of this.
If you have a belief that all books are inspired, this is what they believe the Bible is. All books are inspired by God. You know, right. He writes through the person. You know, every good book. So if there's a book against God or against things, it's got to be written by the devil, obviously.
Yeah. Again, you just trust me on that. Trust me, bro. That's my source.
Yeah. There was one other thing. I enjoyed when they did the montage of him learning how to play tennis, Brad. Because apparently because they interspliced it with Ty praying with people, and the groups of people they put together, like, I don't know if they meant to do this, but they had these two old guys at one point, and I'm like, are they supposed to be saying that that's like a homosexual couple? Like, why? It's like, I don't think so, but it comes across as it's like the type, like he's saving people, and then all of a sudden it's these two guys next to him, you know, like, I'm like, is that what they were trying? But overall, with all this, it's just an insane movie that, you know, I wish we half wrote a better movie, just taking the parts that were around Ty in this movie. That could have been, while we didn't agree with what it said, would actually be a better film. And one last point from me, at least, before we is that I love when he finds out it's a co-ed dorm.
Oh yes.
And he wanted the male dorm. She's like, well, the male dorms fill up quickly, so it's what you got. And then he says, oh, I hope my roommate's not a girl or something like that. And she goes, the dorms are co-ed, not the room.
Yeah.
Well, this goes to Anthony's point that he made before we started recording. When Donald James Parker went to college, it was totally segregated, most likely.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute.
And women weren't allowed either.
Yeah. Wait, women are allowed to learn? Oh, what's next? Black people?
Yeah. Especially in Tennessee, man.
Oh, who I can only imagine what that was like. I'm sure DJP over here attended some rallies in his.
Yeah, he's one of those people
allegedly,
in the background
I
of
should
those
say.
history photos.
Allegedly, I don't need him coming after us.
Yeah,
he allegedly attended some rally. We didn't even touch on the rape scene, the attempted rape scene.
Oh yeah, the reverse rape.
With the professor, the biology professor.
Oh
who is smitten by him.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite part of this movie is that when she's talking with the other professor about this man, Gramps as they call him, which I think she says, that they have to mention that he's handsome.
Right. Yeah, well, of course, because he wrote the
script.
He's handsome, he's smart, athletic.
And my favorite part, speaking of the other professor, my two favorite things I just remembered. One, he is the worst professor of all time. Like, that guy is a clear idiot. And two, with the whole scene party thing at the end, he's walking down the street with a woman who we assume is his wife because his wife is mentioned earlier. And when he goes to help the professor, he just says, "Oh, bye, I'll call you later," to the woman he was walking with. Like, that's something you say to your wife.
So
And then he gets in the car, and then when they're done, all of a sudden she pulls something out of the car, and then he acts like it's his car when it's clearly her car
sure.
because it doesn't work any other way. Like whatever that paper she finds in there or on the ground next to the car.
Right.
I like how, again, this goes to his humor where, so in the scene the professor attempts to seduce Gramps and he's not having any of it. You know, he's a good Christian man. He leaves the scene, right? She's attempting to have her way with him, and then eventually she discovers that God could be real, and then she doesn't teach at the school ever again. So in his hubris, he thinks it's because of him that she's not there anymore.
Yeah, she got fired because she mentioned God to her
Right.
boss, and her boss fired her.
Right. And that's his doing because he helped bring that into her life. And I can't think of a more, again, a more pompous thing. Like, this is a battle that I won. I came here with the sole purpose to change their minds, and I got this woman fired for introducing her to Christ, because that's what happens when you accept Christ. You get canceled, you get fired.
Yeah. Oh boy, what a good one. This was a good one.
Yeah.
I like I said, I was not bored.
Yeah, I think we covered a great deal of it. I mean, we didn't go into any of the technical aspects of it, and it's a poorly shot video.
Yeah.
Like the color tone changes in the same scene at
And the
times. Like
sound.
like the sound will drop in certain scenes, or like it sounds like they're using the microphone on the camera and not like a boom mic, a lav mic, anything like that. And yeah, it's just sometimes things are not in the shot that needs to be in frame. So I don't think any of that truly mattered to him, right? It was more so about him getting his message across than is this a well shot.
100%. It's all about the message.
Yeah. And I will agree with you, Ant, that I hated this movie for a few reasons, but I was not bored with it because I wanted to see how far he was going to take his propaganda. And I was thinking to myself, all right, this is your run of the mill Christian propaganda until the woman is till Stephanie is reborn literally. And there it is. There, I fucking knew it. He had to bring something like this into it because only like this will prove to the kids that the power of God is real.
Yeah. All right. I feel like we've done it, but final thoughts, Dan?
Yeah. Again, this movie is geared towards a certain crowd, and it's like I think you said, Ant or Mark, like this is just like right wing Christian porn, essentially. You know, this old man deciding to take down the liberal woke mind propaganda machine and not really providing any evidence of how to do so. Hey, here's a quote from the Bible. Great. He's not charismatic. He's not very interesting. He I don't know if you guys noticed this, but whenever someone presents a question to him, he has this look of bewilderment on his face at all times. Like, I can't believe you're asking me this question. Not a good actor, not a good writer. I saw he wrote some other books and some other movies, all very low rated, and I'm sure he would attribute that to like left-wing Hollywood. Yeah, I don't know. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be, and it succeeds in making that Christian propaganda anti-intellectualism. So I give him credit for that. He got his message across, so good to go.
Mark, final thoughts.
Yeah, so same thing. I was infuriated for most of this movie, but I knew we'd make a good out of it throughout it. I think the one thing that I do have to mention, because we did not talk about it, was that Michaela's father was perfectly okay with a 65-year-old man going back to college looking after his daughter.
Sure.
Because that man followed the Lord.
Right. Could you say a prayer for her, please? I'll say more than a prayer for her.
Yeah, it was just insane. But yeah, essentially this is what every boomer Christian thinks college is like nowadays. And this, porn is the best way to describe it. Wet dream, I said earlier. This guy just sees himself as a warrior for Christ and gonna take down the woke mind virus. While he's at it, I guess. But yeah, there's no need really for you to watch it. If you've seen somebody preach about something, you've heard everything this movie has to offer. And I'm surprised that there's a mention of the Flat Earth Society, but that they don't.
Right.
But they don't go into it.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me wonder.
I was waiting for them to go into it.
Does he believe that the Earth is flat?
I don't know. I was waiting for it to occur, but it did not.
Yeah. I don't know where the crossover is between creationism and flat earthers.
It's probably a perfect circle.
Yeah. It's probably anti-Semitic mostly. As for me, yeah, like I said, I was not bored with this film. It is an hour and 40 minutes for some reason, which is way too much for this movie. But like I said, it kept my attention. I just wanted to see where this guy was going to go with this. It is exactly what you think it is. It's a guy spouting. You know what it is? It's the conservative version of The Newsroom. The Newsroom was like Aaron Sorkin's attempt to just like, these liberal people, and they always have the smartest response to everything, right? It's so overwritten in that aspect. And this is basically the conservative version of that. This guy is so overwritten with just the perfect response, or at least in the minds of someone that believes this stuff, the perfect response for all of this stuff. Obviously, quality of the delivery system notwithstanding. Yeah, I guess this is technically another film in the canon of midlife crisis films. To go with the Neil Breen films, the Tommy Wiseau's, the Getavins, but taking a different path. Yeah.
That's a good comparison, especially Getavin.
Yeah.
Right. Another man who thinks very highly of himself.
Yeah. He does not do the shimmy slide in this, which I would probably even bump this one up a couple of notches if it did.
That's probably... again, he's not as charismatic as even that guy. And that guy has the charisma of a post.
I don't know if I'd agree with that he had less charisma than him. I just remember his deer in the headlights while doing that entire song.
Do shimmy slide. This movie desperately needed a shimmy slide of like religion theme.
Yeah. There are songs in this movie, and I was convinced that he was singing them, but he is not the person credited for them.
That is a surprise. Figure he would have been up his own ass with that too. Real quick before we end, I had meant to ask. We've all lived the college. We've all been in dorm rooms. How would you react if you walk into your dorm and there's a 65-year-old man there setting up camp? Like, oh yeah, I'm your roommate.
I'd be so mad. Like,
yeah,
this is gonna be my fucking year.
Even if I found out he was like a Christian, like if I'm Christian and I found out he was Christian, I would still be mad about it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think your roommate is your default friend, right?
That's the first
for
friend
better
you
or
make
worse.
sometimes. For
better or worse, it's the person that you're gonna go to lunch with, you're gonna go to dinner with, because they're there all the time, and really it's just easier. For that person to be a 65-year-old man who's probably got sciatica or something. Gotta take my heart pills.
Yeah, it's you're behind the 8 ball immediately.
Right. It's isolating, right?
Very much. Like, who's gonna want to hang out with you? Like, oh, you're gonna bring the old man with you to the party?
Exactly. There's not that other person who's like, oh, let's do something fun.
Right.
Take the whole religious thing out of it, because these two are just gonna sit at home on a Saturday night and read the Bible and quiz each other on Psalms or something like that.
Sure.
But
you wind up living in the Flanders house, essentially.
Yeah. So, yeah, it is taking that one de facto social anchor or like buoy away from this poor kid.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, again, in college, you experiment possibly. He can't even bring someone back to the dorm with him. Even if he wasn't trying to hook up. Even if he made friends with like a tennis player. Like, oh, let's go back to your dorm. Oh, I can't. It's 8:00. My roommate's asleep. He gets real cranky if you wake him up.
Yeah.
It's just
He's got-
it's a nightmare.
He's 8 o'clock. He's sleeping. His CPAP machine's in the middle of the room. There's no room. There's no room to hang out.
Listen, he's got to get up for the early bird special at the fucking hometown buffet, right? He's got to be up bright and early, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, he's got to get to the mall to
Do his power steps. Yeah, meanwhile, Brad is coming home from his night class. He's like, I got class at 7 a.m. the next morning. Nope, too bad. Gramps is up at 5.
Dude, it's calisthenics.
Right. Yeah, just like having a hard time going to the bathroom. You're hearing him. Like,
And
he's,
struggling. You know his bedtime is just tidy whities, right? His pajamas.
Right. Or does he have that cute little nightcap with the pom-pom?
Just like a nightshirt and nightcap, like he's Ebenezer Scrooge.
Well, he can't show any skin, all right?
That's true. He's got to show modesty.
He's got to show modesty, yeah. And he's you're trying to work on a paper that's due the next day, and he's trying to quiz you about what did King Solomon say? Come on, and I'm trying to pass my history course here. What are they teaching you in history?
Yeah. Not teaching you about the Bible, right? Not teaching about Jesus, I can assure you that.
Yeah, like
damn liberals.
Damn liberals. It can't all be about Jesus, my man.
Yeah.
It just, unfortunately, history did happen. I have to learn. I have to learn about American history right now, and this does not come into play, unfortunately.
Oh man. All right. Well, that is Gramps Goes to College. We're going to take a quick break, but before we do, Dan, what you got for us?
All right, guys, please go check out a very good friend of the podcast, run by our very own Mark Myers, and also a friend of the podcast, Tom Shooter, the Game Vault podcast, where Mark and Tom discuss video game news, games that they are playing, games that are coming out, things happening in the video game industry. So if you are a avid gamer or you're a noob, as they say, I don't know if the kids still say noob, but if you're a noob, they got you covered. There's a great source of information. You could follow them on all socials at Game Vault Pod. They are on all podcast platforms, so wherever you get yours, make sure to like and subscribe, and or I guess rate and review, however you say it, but it helps them out a great deal. They also stream on Twitch at Game Vault Pod, where they're playing retro games, they're playing newer games. It's a lot of fun. It's a great community, so please make sure to follow them there. And you could also follow them on YouTube. Just search Game Vault Podcast, and that'll pop right up.
Okay, great. And we're going to take a quick break, and you guys are going to listen to some messages from friends of the podcast. So we'll be right back. And welcome back. And now it's time for our final segment. And this segment is a screen share segment. So just in a second, these guys don't know what this is. In a second, I'm going to share my screen and we will play a little bit of a game. So I am going to share my screen in 3, 2, 1. Can you guys see that?
Yay, harlots.
We are playing Bible Jeopardy, ladies and gentlemen. If you know Jeopardy, we've got 5 categories and 5 questions per category. So I'm going across the top. Our categories today are harlots, Bible quotes in cinema, popes, the apostles, and religious movies. And I don't remember who started last time, so I just said Dan will go first.
Great, man. Well, first off, Mark, I gotta ask, are you proficient in the Bible? I just want to know what I'm up against here.
The thing I will say is I feel like I shouldn't be good at this, but I'm probably going to end up being good at some of it.
Okay, because I'm in a lot of trouble here. So
I spent years as an altar boy and worked in my church and all that. So yeah,
I'm sorry to hear that.
And
let's
12 years of Catholics.
Let's do Bible quotes in cinema for 100.
Okay, let me put this into full screen before we do that. Your answer: Psalm 149:3, 2 Samuel 6:14, and Ecclesiastes. I feel like off podcast I had it in my head what it was, but now I can't do it. 314 can all be heard in this 1980s film that turned Kevin Bacon into a star.
What is Footloose?
The answer: what is Footloose? And remember the rules of Jeopardy. is that either of you can buzz in an answer.
Okay.
Okay. So do we need Mark?
Needs buzz in.
What's our buzz in?
Let's just say your name.
Okay. Well, I was gonna do like a good Jesus
do
thing
that
or
anyway.
something.
Well, you can do whatever.
What's the?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Dan, the board is yours.
Let's continue. Bible quotes 200.
Okay. Answer. In Pulp Fiction, hitman Jules recites this passage twice, once to Brett before he kills him, and later to Ringo before he lets him go.
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
What is the Valley of Death?
It's incorrect. Mark, can you steal?
No, I don't got it.
The answer is, what is Ezekiel 25:17?
The path of the righteous man.
Yep. Is beset on all sides by iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Dan, board is still yours.
Religious movies 100.
Religious movies 100. This faith-based children's programming debuted on the big screen with an adaptation of the story of Jonah in 2002.
Mark, at your service.
Yuck, I hate it. Go.
Veggie Tales? What is Veggie Tales?
Well, the answer, what is
Hey!
VeggieTales?
Well done, sir.
All right, Mark's on the board. It's all tied up. Where are you going, Mark?
Let's go Popes for 100.
Popes for 100. Since Pope Nicholas V in the 15th century, all popes have called Vatican City a 121-acre city-state that is located within this much larger European city.
Praise Jesus.
Mark.
Dan gets it in.
What is Rome?
The answer, what is Rome? All right, back to Dan.
I don't feel comfortable with popes. Let's go harlots for 100.
Oh, that's so funny. Don't feel comfortable with Popes. Let's go with harlots.
All right. The answer. This OG wicked woman, this co-founder of humanity, was tricked by a snake and cursed us all to the hell we live in currently.
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Who is Eve?
The answer, who is Eve?
I feel like if I have a chance to steal any of this, it's going to be in the later ones where I have some knowledge that just pops in my head.
I gotta
Just gotta be quick on the draw there, Mark.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's continue harlots 200.
The answer. Alluded to in Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah, this harlot fancied herself a hairdresser in order to rob a man of his power.
Trying to
Mark,
recite
at
the
your
word.
service.
Mark.
Who is Jezebel?
That's incorrect. Dan, can you steal?
Who? No. Who is Mary?
It was incorrect. The answer is, who is Delilah?
Delilah.
The board is still yours, Dan.
All right.
I was so worried about Dan buzzing in. I should have sung the song in my
I was trying to sing it. I don't know the words very well, but all right. Let's go. I'm jumping around here. Let's go. Apostles for 100.
The answer, known as a pessimist and skeptic, Thomas, also known as Didymus, would earn this nickname based on his personality trait.
Mark, at your service.
Mark.
What is Doubting Thomas?
The answer, what is doubting? Yep.
Hey, there we go.
The board is yours, Mark.
Let's make Dan uncomfortable. Popes for 200.
The answer, the short papacy of Pope John Paul I was the basis for a plot point in this much maligned film sequel.
Mark, at your service.
I'm going to give that to Mark.
What is Angels and Demons?
It was incorrect.
What is? I don't know.
The answer, what is The Godfather Part 3?
Not know that.
Neither did I.
Mark, board's still yours.
Popes for 3.
The answer. This 2024 political thriller starring Ray Fiennes dramatizes the process that goes into selecting a new pope.
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Shit. What is the? It starts with a C, I think. I like this movie too. What is? I had it. I forget.
All right, Mark.
What is the Conclave?
Conclave.
The answer. What is Conclave?
Damn it! I knew it. It was on the tip of my tongue, and I lost it. Good job, Mark.
Mark steals and takes the lead. Board's still yours.
Popes for 4.
Popes for 400. The answer. Not only was he the first pope, but this saint also had the longest reign as pope, spanning over 34 years.
Mark, at your service.
Mark.
Now, who is Peter?
The answer. Who is Saint Peter?
Oh my God. Mark's opening up a big lead here.
Opening up a lead.
For a second there, Paul popped in my head. I was like, wait, no. Get out of there. Popes for 500.
The answer. Urban VII is known for having the shortest reign as pope at just 13 days, succumbing to this in 1590.
Mark, at your service.
Mark.
God.
What is the plague, the Black Death?
That's incorrect.
Ooh,
Dan, can you steal?
that was context.
What would have happened in the 1600s? What is malaria?
The answer. What is malaria?
Good job, man.
Boom.
Closing that gap.
Oh shit! It's a game.
Now you don't
900
pick
to
folks
800.
anymore, Dan.
Let's go. This is all a nightmare for me. Let's go. Religious movies 200.
The answer. Despite criticisms from both the religious community and non-believers, this 2010 account of a young boy's near-death experience made it to the big screen in a film by the same name starring Greg Kinnear.
What is?
Oh, did you buzz in?
Yeah, I didn't buzz in. I don't know.
So many.
3,
Nah, I don't got
2, 1. Brr. The answer. What is heaven is for real. Crickets.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, back to you.
Bible quotes in cinema 300.
Okay. The answer. New Jack City's Nino Brown quotes this biblical brother when he says, "Am I my brother's keeper?"
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Who is Abel?
That is incorrect.
Mark at your service.
Mark.
I'll just take a shot. Who is Cain?
The answer. Who is Cain?
Well done, Mark. It's 50-50 shot.
Well, there's other brothers in the Bible,
Sure.
and I'm like, I didn't know if Ant was going to go like off the board at 300 for like some random other brothers in the Bible.
It's not me. It's New Jack City, Mark.
It's New Jack City. Sorry. Apostles for 200.
The answer. Apostle Judas Iscariot betrayed Jesus, and in return, he was awarded 30 pieces of this.
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Silver.
The answer. What is silver? All right, board's yours. The score is Mark 1200, Dan 1000. Close game.
This is good. This is a good game. Harlots 300.
Right. The wife of this man couldn't follow simple instructions and was thusly turned to a pillar assault as they attempted to flee Sodom.
Mark at your service.
Mark.
Who is Esau?
Is not Esau.
Oh, God, I know who it. Oh,
I don't. Pass.
Do you have a guess?
No, I don't. I don't know.
The answer is, who is Lot? All right, Dan.
See, now I'm nervous because Mark could open up a big lead with some of these ones. Let's go. I can't go apostles because I think he knows the apostles pretty well.
You gotta run the other categories.
Right. It's something I never knew about Mark. He knows the fucking apostles.
I did 12 years of Catholic school.
Sure. I didn't know that's something that would happen. Bible quotes in cinema 400.
The answer. This horror remake appropriately opens with Johnny Cash's The Man Comes Around, which contains passages from Revelations.
Praise
Dan.
What is A Nightmare on Elm Street?
Is incorrect. Mark, do you have a guess?
What is Halloween?
It's incorrect. The answer. What is Dawn of the Dead?
Bible quotes 500.
All right, close out that
big
one. In The Shawshank Redemption, the warden quotes, when Jesus spoke again to the people, he said, "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of the life." The passage is 8:12 of this gospel.
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Who is John?
The answer. What is the Gospel of John?
There you
Correct.
go, Dan.
Yeah.
I was nervous because I forgot what the answer was.
I was sitting here thinking that this was going to be like when you asked for a gospel, if this was going to be where Ant slipped my name into an answer.
Oh, that would have been fun. Religious movies 300.
The answer. Despite a star-studded cast, including Max von Sydow as Jesus and Charlton Heston as John the Baptist, a bloated budget and a runtime of nearly 200 minutes sealed the fate of this 1965 release as a box office bomb.
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Oh no, I was gonna say who is Ben-Hur, but that he's clearly Ben-Hur. So
is incorrect.
Yeah, incorrect.
Mark.
I thought he played someone else, but what is the Ten Commandments?
It was incorrect.
Yeah.
He was in that, but he played Moses.
Yeah.
The answer is, what is the greatest story ever told? Back to you, Dan.
Religious movies 400, please.
The answer. 2018's I Can Only Imagine depicts the story behind the chart-topping hit of the same name by this Christian musical group.
Shit.
Right?
No, like I know
it's
I'm
a $400 question.
No, The thing that's killing me is I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I can't.
If it makes you feel any better, Mark, I have zero clue.
I'm gonna give you 3 seconds.
You can you
Three.
can buzz it out, but I'm gonna describe them once you do.
Meh. I have no. If you give me a description, I am going to say maybe.
Okay, this is like a giant. It's I know the name. Can I say it and not get the points?
Sure.
Is it Hillsong?
Nope. It's not
No?
Hillsong.
Okay.
The answer is Who is Mercy Me?
Okay, good. I thought it was
Shit.
Hillsong, which is this big like Christian like school group that put out albums and stuff like that.
I was thinking of the band that came out with Christmas shoes. It was New Song, I think their name is.
No idea.
That's the only one I know.
All right, Dan.
Finish out religious movies, please. 5.
The answer. This early Hollywood producer-director brought the life of Jesus to theaters in 1927 with his epic King of Kings, following up his previous adaptation of the Ten Commandments. It's a $500 question.
That sure is. 20. My goodness.
It was a silent film, actually.
I don't even know if this person. I'm gonna mark at your service.
All right, Mark.
Who is Ed Wood?
It's incorrect, and he is very much a real person.
Okay.
Well, I'm trying. Like, who is a big 1920s director?
Exactly.
I know one. I know of one director from the 1920s.
Okay.
So I'll take a guess. Praise Jesus.
All right, Dan.
DeMille? Cecil B. DeMille? Who is Cecil B. DeMille?
The answer. Who is
Holy
Cecil B.
shit.
DeMille?
That complete guess.
Good job. Good guess.
Right? Who else could I couldn't name you another director in the 1920s.
Exactly. F.W. Murnau.
Sure.
Dan's like, sure, that guy's.
Why not? Mark, I'll throw Apostle your way. We got to do it at one point. So Apostle's 300.
All right. The answer. Named as the first apostle, Peter was originally named this before he was inexplicably renamed by Jesus.
Mark at your service.
Mark.
Okay. I believe it is. What is Saul?
It is not.
Oh.
Dan, can you steal?
Named as the first apostle, Peter was originally this before he. So he wasn't Peter before Jesus renamed him as Peter?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. Who is Paul? I don't know. Yeah, who is Paul?
The answer. Who is Simon? Back to you, Dan.
Jesus is crazy. The Apostles 400. Jesus is crazy. He just goes around renaming people.
Yeah.
The answer. Known as the disciple Jesus loved, this part of the Inner Three is credited as author of a large part of the New Testament, including Revelations.
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Who is John the Apostle?
The answer. Who is John?
Yeah.
See,
Healthy
Dan,
lead.
I learned a little bit more than I remember.
the greatest story ever told.
Dan has now taken a 2,400 to 1,200. That's
Mark can still
important.
catch up though.
It's important, Mark. You got 3 very big.
It seems like Dan knows a lot about John the Apostle.
I remember Revelation.
All right,
don't
Dan,
know
where are you going?
Harlots 400.
Harlots 400. The answer. This woman, her name now synonymous with immorality, sacrificed Israel's prophets to the god Baal before she was defenestrated by her servants.
Mark at your service.
Mark.
Who is Jezebel?
The answer. Who is Jezebel?
Mark, he's the comeback
Right
trail.
back there.
I said that really quickly because I wanted to make sure Dan didn't buzz it.
All right. You got two to choose from. Harlots
Yeah,
for
let's
500.
go
the
Harlots
Apostles?
500.
All right. The answer. Known as the woman of this place, the harlot was one of Jesus's first evangelists, convincing the people in her town to come and see the man who told me everything I ever did. That's a $500 question.
Just a question about the question.
Okay.
Do we have to name this place or the woman?
It's the place. The woman, as far as I could tell, was not named.
Okay. That was
3 seconds.
Mark at your service.
All right, Mark.
What is Nazareth?
This is not Nazareth.
I'm probably going to know the
Praise Jesus.
Dan.
Is Magdalene a place? What is Magdalene?
No. The correct answer. What is Samaria?
Okay. I figured Mary Magdalene.
I know Samaria. I didn't know that one.
Yeah. All right. The last category is A former tax collector, this apostle brought the gospel to Ethiopia and Egypt until he was speared to death by King Hyrcanus.
Lord. Mark, do you know?
Mark, at your service.
Sure.
Is this Saul? Who is Saul?
It is not Saul. Dan, do you have a guess?
Who is Luke?
That's incorrect. The answer is, who is Matthew?
Okay.
And that takes us to Final Jeopardy. Once again, the scores are Dan 2,400 and Mark 1,600. It's still anybody's game. So how they do it in Jeopardy is that they wager first based on the category, and then they send answers. So what we're going to do this via text. You guys text me your wagers based on how much points you have, based on the category televangelists.
I think I sent it over.
Yep. Got them both. Excellent. All righty. The question is, an early pioneer of prosperity gospel theology, this televangelist founded a university named for himself in Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1963.
Debating.
See those bubbles.
I am also going to know the school, so I'm trying to.
All right. The answers and the wagers are in. We will start with Mark because he is in second place. Mark, how much did you wager?
1,200.
1,200. And what was your answer?
Who is Franklin Graham?
That is incorrect. Dropping you down to $400. Forgot that's Bob.
The Conclave.
All right. We're going to go to Dan. Dan, what did you wager?
I wagered all of it, 2,400.
2,400. And what was your answer?
Who is Oral Roberts?
The answer is, who is Oral Roberts? So that is correct, Dan.
I'm so mad.
Did that ring a bell to you, Mark?
No, I know the school.
Okay.
Like I said to right before I sent the thing to Anne, like, I'm going to know the school.
Yep.
When he says it.
Oral Roberts.
The problem is I didn't know Oral Roberts was in Oklahoma.
Okay.
So.
We did recently at work. We did some stuff on like Billy Graham and Joyce Meyer. So like I think Oral Roberts was something that we also came across. So that's why I know that.
Yes. Here you go.
I think that was not that I would have guessed it anyway, but that is the one reason why Oral Roberts didn't come into my head because I thought that was more of a Southern than Oklahoma.
Well,
that was a good Final Jeopardy.
That was good. Thank you guys for playing Bible Jeopardy. It took me like 3 hours.
What do I win?
I think bragging rights. Haven't you lost like all of the Jeopardies?
I've lost a good amount of them.
Yeah.
I think usually on the last question.
That's right.
Usually
the wrestling ones. Yeah. That's why I went all out and did 2,400.
And I have to appreciate your restraint for not making one of the answers what is Mark. Because there are plenty of opportunities to do that.
Yep. Thought about it. But yeah, no, thank you guys for playing. Couldn't done it without yous.
Well, thank you for putting the time in. These are always great.
All right, guys. Well, that is our episode on Gramps Goes to College. Listening at home, check us out on all our socials. TikTampod on Blue Sky, Threads, and Instagram. We are They Call This Movie on TikTok. You can also find us on YouTube at They Call This Movie. Gmail, TikTampod@gmail.com. But the best place to get a hold of us is over on that Discord. And if you are not on Discord, then get over there. It's patreon.com/TikTampod is where you subscribe for $1 and you get a link to our Discord. Talk about movies, suggest movies, participate in our polls, and of course you get that exclusive episode at the end of every month. This month is coming out soon, so get on that so you could get that new episode very shortly. All right, that's it. We're going to get out of here. The director of Gramps Goes to College is Chip Rossetti. So for Dan Aquino and Mark Myers, this is Anthony Del Vecchio telling Chip Rossetti, well, you certainly made a movie, didn't you?